tonight on the Jonathan Majors case. The Manhattan District Attorney has declined to charge the actor's ex-girlfriend. Grace Jabbari turned herself into NYPD last night on assault and criminal mischief charges. Majors had filed a domestic violence counter complaint against her, but the DA closed the case, saying it lacks prosecutorial merit. A judge has rejected Majors' request to have the domestic violence case against him dismissed. That trial set to begin November 29th.
Let me read this statement. Grace Jabbari, Jonathan Majors' ex-girlfriend, has dropped her lawsuit against him, per NBC News. She was alleging assault, battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress, malicious persecution, and defamation due to Majors maintaining his innocence while convicted. That's incredible that you can claim defamation because someone is claiming that they're innocent. That's insane to me. The new filing states all claims against defendant are hereby dismissed with prejudice. Jabbari and Majors will pay their own legal fees. Majors was previously convicted on 2 accounts of misdemeanor assault in December of 2023 for assaulting Jabbari in the back of a livery car. I believe they meant delivery car. He was sentenced to an in-person batterers intervention program in April of 2024, but received no jail time. Jabbari began her civil suit in March, alleging a pattern of pervasive domestic abuse that began in 2021 and extended through 2023. So you stayed with him, even though you were being quote-unquote battered and abused. You stayed in that bullshit for 2 years. Got it. Majors was separately accused of assault by 2 other women in February, Emma Duncan and Maura Hooper, both exes. No charges have been brought by either as of now. It's just more fuel for the fire. It's just more bullshit for the fire, but we're going to get to it. All right, so that little snippet that I played at the beginning of this video, I just wanted to remind you all of everything that Jonathan Majors went through at the beginning of this entire fiasco and how it all went down. I wanted to remind y'all about what the media's take on this was and how badly he was being destroyed basically in the eye of the public media. And now to have this happen, as of November, his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend has dropped the case. But it may not be what you are thinking. But anyway, let's take a look and then we'll get into what I think about this.
Yet another major high-profile character, the actor Jonathan Majors. Well, we learned this today, that Majors' ex-girlfriend has now dropped her assault and defamation lawsuit against the once budding Hollywood star. You see him there. Remember, we covered this story extensively when it first broke, and now we have a conclusion to this here as well. But someone who also covered this extensively and continues to do so is our friend, legal affairs journalist Megan Cuniff, and she joins us to talk about this latest update to the case. And Megan, happy Friday. Good to be with you. Thanks for being with us here. I got to ask, what happened today? Did many people think the Majors story, the Majors' saga was resolved? Clearly not. Megan, I believe you might be muted there. Apologize.
Oh, yeah. They settled the lawsuit. Jonathan Majors settled. The case was dismissed voluntarily because it has been settled, but they reached an out-of-court settlement that Grace Jabbari's lawyers described as favorable to her. So instead of fighting the claims in court or anything like that, it looks like he just opted for an out-of-court settlement.
All right, Megan, let's get our viewers up to speed. Let's go back for a moment here. What was alleged in the lawsuit?
This was assault and defamation, alleging a pattern of abuse, and then him denying this. And this was, of course, in relation to the allegations that had led to the criminal case against him, in which he was convicted on sentenced to counseling, and this lawsuit stems from that. It stems from the same type of abuse that was alleged in the criminal case, I should say.
I see. Well, we haven't seen him in Hollywood since the allegations surfaced. We know he was dropped by many of the studios he was set to do films for here. Any chance that we're going to see some type of career rebound for Majors after this?
I mean, I think it's up to Hollywood and the film producers whether they want to take him back and whether he's able to revitalize his career and return to Hollywood. I think just some of the public relations efforts we were seeing surrounding the criminal case, it seems like he definitely wants that. And then just kind of the spin on from some of the coverage on this lawsuit. I mean, a lot of people are focusing on, oh, she dismissed the lawsuit. It's like, well, another way of putting it is he settled the lawsuit. But I think there's always going to be kind of a war of words in this case over, what exactly happened. But the point is, he was convicted by a jury and now he's settled the lawsuit. So whether in a few years from now that's all just in the past and he's able to return to the big screen in Hollywood, I think that remains to be seen.
Yeah, because I don't want it to get lost, just because, to your point, just because this was dismissed today, he was still convicted of assaulting his former girlfriend. So we'll just have to see, how short or long Hollywood's memory is, right?
Yeah. And really the fact that it was dismissed is because it was settled, because he chose to settle the lawsuit with her. And she's released a statement saying that it's favorable to her. And his lawyers have even said that the dismissal is what happens when you settle a case. I think they're probably aware that there could be some implications if they try to imply otherwise. So,
All right, so you just heard her say that. In other words, all that gibberish that they were saying basically says that, look, she didn't drop the case. In other words, to say, I didn't mean to file this against you. Because there are two cases that happened, right? The first case was criminal charges in which he was convicted of. He was convicted on criminal charges and then he was sentenced to, some arbitrary bullshit like counseling and, 52 weeks of domestic violence counseling, whatever it was, they used probation or whatever it was they were sentenced to, right? So that was the criminal part of it. But then she went after him civilly, which means, y'all know, that's the money. She wanted the money as well, which is what I think she was after the entire time. I think that she was after his money the entire time. He was up and coming. He was a star on the rise. He had just gotten that Disney bag, and we were seeing Jonathan Majors rise into superstardom and superstar status. He was going to be up there with Dwayne Johnson, I promise you, because he's a far better actor than Dwayne Johnson. Jonathan Majors was about to be major, but let's finish this up.
I mean, he settled the case with her.
Yeah, Megan, I just want to remind our viewers of some of this really damning video, and this is difficult to watch here, so viewer discretion is advised. This appeared and came to light during the trial here, and you posted this on your social media accounts here. Let's get more, though, into the lawsuit and the settlement. Grace Jabbari's attorney declined, though, to say how much the case was settled for, only saying it was settled favorably. So we haven't heard anything about the number here. But that is what was divulged in court. These videos, and they're difficult to watch, of Jabbari and Majors with, quite physically fighting. I mean, it's plain as day here.
All right, that's enough. I can't take any more of his bullshit. Anybody with a pair of eyes watching this video can clearly see that this was not a fight. This was not a knockdown, drag-out fight. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about here. Talking about, this is extremely hard to see. Yeah, it's extreme. What's extremely hard to see is the fact that there's a white woman accusing a black man of assault. When we saw the same video that we saw him trying to put her in the vehicle and then literally run across the fucking city to get away from her. That is quite difficult to watch. I absolutely agree in that sense. It's difficult to watch a black man get accused of fucking assault and have his name dragged and his career basically body bagged. It's incredibly difficult to watch that because we saw the same thing that these goofies saw on television. They're not watching anything different than what we saw. So I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Telling me, it's difficult to watch. Yeah, it's difficult to watch. But unfortunately, this is another cautionary tale. Gentlemen, please watch who you lay down with, because this chick here was out for revenge. She was out for you. She tried to publicly humiliate and destroy him. And she succeeded because Disney fired him. They fired him at the peak of his career. At the very top of his career, right when he was ascending and taking off. He had just did Creed 3, which sold very, very well, made a lot of money. And then he jumped off into Disney and got that Marvel bag, which y'all know. Anybody that watches Marvel movies, y'all already know. The Marvel bag is unrivaled. The Marvel bag is unrivaled. Why? Because not only are you in one project, but you're potentially a part of 2 and 3 or 4 other projects. And not to mention that Jonathan Majors they were setting him up to be the next big bad, or the next big villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So that means multiple films. That's a multi-million-dollar bag that he lost. That's a multi-million-dollar bag that this lawsuit cost him. It cost him so much money. So much money. That's aside from the damage that it's done to his name and his acting career. That is an incredible fall from grace. An incredible fall from grace. But it's a goddamn cautionary tale for anybody that when you get to the top, be mindful of who the fuck is around you. Be mindful, please. And it don't have to be in this capacity. It could be in the capacity of you climbing the ranks and ascending somewhere at your job. We just talked about the chief. The chief had to go and retire because he was busting the chick down. He thought everything was cool, and then she went and turned on him. We keep seeing this story day in, day out of women destroying men's careers. And honestly, at the end of the day, you only have yourself to blame. Sorry. It's unfortunate. It is. I know how they are. But you cannot complain when you put yourself in this situation. Of course they were going to believe her over you. Of course. And now she's off somewhere living fancy free with your fucking money. That you could not afford, honestly, that you couldn't afford to goddamn waste. That you couldn't afford to give because your career is all but done now. And they're sitting there questioning whether or not he's going to be able to get back into the Hollywood industry. I doubt it. Because who the hell is going to hire Jonathan Majors after this is attached to his name? He was accused. Not only was he accused, but he was convicted of the crime. That carries a whole different level. That carries a whole different level of visibility in that world. I heard people mentioning Jonathan Majors' name next to Robert Downey Jr., talking about what Robert Downey Jr. and the troubles that he had with his alcoholism at the beginning of his career. That's two totally different things. Two totally different things. Domestic violence and abuse, they don't play that shit in Hollywood, especially with woke-ass Disney at the helm of this. Nobody at Disney right now, which is a team being led by mostly women, where everything is being decided by women, nobody is going to fucking hire Jonathan Majors for any role in Disney, albeit Marvel or anything else Disney related. It's not going to happen. He's done in that world. Now, maybe it's going to take somebody else to come along and give him an opportunity. Maybe it's going to take Tyler Perry or somebody. I don't know. Maybe somebody is going to, will reach out and extend an olive branch to his acting career. Hopefully that happens for this brother, because this is one of the saddest stories I've ever seen, because you can see it of course he wants his goddamn career back. He worked too hard to get there, which is why you got to be so careful. It's why you have to be so careful, especially as a black man in America and you're ascending to the top. It's why you got to be extra cautious. Of course he wants his career back, but I don't think it's going to happen. And as a result, all that hard work that he did to get where he was is all for nothing. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. We don't need to watch any more of this stupid ass video. These people are sitting up here basically just adding fuel to the fire, talking, oh, it's hard to watch. You motherfuckers are hard to watch. But y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, and I'll see y'all on the next one.